Hi guys, it's Noah here. Hope you're doing well. Right now, I'm going to give you a little presentation on how did Richard Wagner's pursuit of Gesamtkunstwerk make his compositions unique. From Disney's Frozen franchise to the work of fashion designer Tom Brown, the idea of Gesamtkunstwerk is something I see as one of the few enduring, proliferated ideas in the entertainment sector of our ever-changing technology and content-driven world today. Though the idea thoroughly precedes Richard Wagner, how did this adoption of total artwork as a value for at least part of his career make his compositions more innovative and unique? And how has a broader idea of this total artwork persisted in society today? For those who need an explanation, Gesamtkunstwerk is Deutsch for total artwork and is defined in the Oxford Concise Dictionary for Art Terms as a dramatic form in which all the arts, poetry, drama, the visual arts, music, song, should be united to form a new and complete work of art. Think of an opera stage, where the work of florists, interior designers, architects, composers, and performers act together to give the audience member a special experience. Though the idea is closely associated with the work of Wagner, the idea of Gesamtkunstwerk did not originate with him. Composers, writers, and art critics who shared the socialist aims of Wagner wrote about the unification of art mediums before his 1849 essay Das Kunstwerk der Zukunft. Wagner was further inspired by the theatrical work of ancient Greece, writing once that he felt truly cohesive, unified artwork had not been achieved since the days of Greek theater. What Wagner wanted to achieve with his music had ancient, vastly historical precedents with equal implications for the future. It also required the work of countless different types of artists, including landscape designers, sculptors, lighting experts, couturiers, actors, actresses, scores of musicians, and savvy musical composition, all to come together in collaboration to make a sort of artistic symbol of an idealized Germanic utopia. Ugh. Ultimately, Wagner achieved his vision to a fair extent, and changed music along the way. Among his most critical contributions to music in pursuit of Gesamtkunstwerk was Wagner's use of the leitmotif, as it made his music tell stories in a new, literary fashion. Take the case of the opening scenes of Das Rheingold, the second opera of the Ring cycle, where Wagner introduces a motif in E-flat that illustrates the Rhine River, in the creation of the fictional world of Valhalla itself. By associating the sufficient elements of a drama into discrete musical components, Wagner creates a new method of composition in the realm of opera by interacting each motive sympathetically to what he perceived as the core motivations of the drama. Leitmotif was an innovative technique to build programmatic music during the Romantic era because it could treat musical motives and ideas like the literal events of a story. For example, a hero's journey, an expository statement of themes, interpolation, extrapolation of those themes, followed by a return of the most critical themes in the resolute part of the story. If an author or librettist introduces a character, their motive could appear on the score. If the character is incensed, shy, or holy, these nuances were to be reflected in Wagner's taste in the universal devices of music such as dynamics, articulation, register, rhythm, harmony, counterpoint, onto that particular motif. This made his music unprecedented in the sense that it was completely offered for the purpose and effect of storytelling at a level of detail, scale, and granularity previously unseen. Wagner's use of the leitmotif in pursuit of Gesamtkunstwerk also gives his compositions a challenging, innovative stance to many predecessors when it comes to the creation of melody. For example, Wagner's own words about the Flying Dutchman portrays his approach clearly. I no longer tried for customary melody, or, in a sense, for melody at all, but absolutely let it take its rise from feeling utterance to the words. Because Wagner derived his musical material in the form of motives inspired from the sensuality of a story's literal words and dialogue, the quality and form of his works distinguish from the work of other composers who were more cognizant of absolute traditions and genre, like sonata form, theme and variation, fugue, etc. Prose and music to Wagner were essentially interchangeable. In conclusion, Wagner wrote naturally unique melodies and form by staying creatively pinned to the meanings of a drama's libretto. Lastly, Wagner's belief in Gesamtkunstwerk gives his opera's compositions a diverse set of musical outcomes based on the type of story being told in the drama, be it an epic, tragedy, comedy, creation story, etc. In the words of biographer Adolphe Julian, when Wagner had fixed his choice upon a subject, the first task, and not always the easiest in his eyes, was to condense into one very concise plan the scattered threads of the myth for which he had resolved upon, and to weave them, as it were, anew. What Julian's words so eloquently describe is that Wagner's music is starkly unique because he wanted it to be that way. Gesamtkunstwerk was an unlabeled idea at the time that simply provided him value and criteria for innovation. The pursuit of something unprecedented and grand gave him the framework to dig deeper than the matter-of-fact happenings of a plot, but to emphasize the core motivations and emotions of a story, and to derive musical ideas and sounds from there. The musical outcomes were as diverse as the stories being told themselves, and thus consistently unique, something we all remember Richard Wagner's music for. I'm willing to argue that Gesamtkunstwerk, or total artwork, did not die with Richard Wagner in 1883. If anything, I believe it has totally caught on fire since then. Virtually every piece of cinema since the 1930s is some example of what Wagner pursued with his life's work in opera. The ways in which something like cinema, video games, social media, and modern performances use couture, design, choreography, and song all together is something worth considering. Humanity uses art every day to help understand and identify itself and others. In a society where technology has driven an endless demand for content and entertainment, audiences increasingly expect the fusion of multiple art mediums in what content they consume, and care less about where it comes from. Thank you guys very much, and have a great day.